So we were inside the house and we heard a bunch of shots. And that's when I came outside to see what was going on.
We begin tonight with some breaking news. One person is dead and a deputy and a canine deputy were injured after a shooting in North Spokane just hours ago. That is according to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. Let's get started. Deputies responded to that incident just before 5 this evening. It happened at a house on North Kalispell Street on West Lyons Avenue near the Northtown Mall. It drew a major response from law enforcement. We want to go straight live to the scene right now. That's where we find KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk. He just heard from Spokane County Sheriff John Knowles with the latest details. Kyle?
Well, yeah, Mark, a lot of information we've just received in the last 15 minutes or so. As you mentioned, that suspect that deputies were trying to arrest is dead. A sheriff's office canine is in the hospital, actually in surgery right now. And a sheriff's deputy himself received minor injuries, did not have to be taken to the hospital. But the sheriff's office tells us they received a call around 4:18 today. A person said his neighbor was threatening to kill him and that he was armed with a baton. So deputies say they developed probable cause to arrest that suspect and with 2 felonies, but he would not cooperate. Then hours later, when deputies received a signed search warrant, they breached a door to the home. Deputies say the man became aggressive, shots were fired, and the man died. We spoke to someone who lives right next door to this scene. Take a listen.
When I got outside, I started watching, and they were backing away from the house in a line. And then shortly after that, another line of police officers went up, and I could hear them kind of breaking in the back door, I guess. And there was no other shouting or anything like that.
Now the SEER team, that's the investigating body that investigates these officer-involved shootings, they'll be on scene for the next few hours. The Spokane Police Department will take the lead on that. And I just asked Sheriff Knowles if he knows how many deputies exactly fired their weapon. He said that's being investigated right now. Several deputies are being questioned, but he did not have an answer to say as far as how many will be placed on administrative leave at this exact moment. A lot more details to comb through. We're going to have more information for you coming up on KREM 2 News and 11. Reporting live in North Spokane, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. In less than a month, Idaho's longest-serving death row inmate will be executed. Just hours ago, we learned that Thomas Creech's execution is now scheduled for February 28th. A district court judge issued a death warrant today, less than 24 hours after Creech's request to reduce his sentence to life in prison was denied. Creech was sentenced to death for the murder of a fellow inmate back in 1981 and was convicted of 4 other murders. Governor Brad Little released a statement after Creech was denied clemency, saying in part, quote, "As governor, I have zero intention of taking any action that would halt or delay Creech's execution. His lawful and just sentence must be carried out as ordered by the court. Justice has been delayed long enough," end quote. Since the death penalty was reinstated in Idaho back in 1976, 3 people have been put to death. And now to our Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's top stories. Deputies arrested a man in connection with 3 separate bank robberies across Spokane. According to the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, deputies believe 40-year-old Dustin Perrin is connected to 2 bank robberies on the South Hill and 1 in the Logan neighborhood, which happened just last week at a Washington Trust Bank. Detectives say they noticed similarities between the robberies and they were able to match Perrin's DNA to a banknote. He is currently booked into the Spokane County Jail. Meantime, the Spokane Valley City Council discussing hiring new police officers tonight. Right now, there are 91 full-time officers at the department. A consulting group recommended adding 25 new officers to keep up with growing demand. This addition would cost the city more than $6 million, but the department says it's a need that must be met. An update to a hit and run from earlier this week. Spokane Valley Traffic Unit investigators arrested a suspect believed to have hit a woman on East Broadway before driving away. Deputies say they were able to match pieces left behind at the scene to this 2014 Jeep Wrangler. It belongs to 64-year-old John Townshend. He was arrested on felony hit and run with injury charges. The woman he hit is in the hospital tonight in critical but stable condition. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website. That's KREM.com. Well, take a look. Caught on camera, the first cougar crossing of the year on Snoqualmie Pass, the wildlife bridge there. According to pass officials, there were only 5 cougar sightings on that bridge in all of last year. And they hope this is one of many, which seems likely considering a snowplow driver on the pass captured this picture of a cougar kitten. All right, turning to weather now. We are wrapping up another mild day here in the inland Northwest. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Legoo to find out what's in store for the rest of the week. Jeremy?
Well, Mark, when it comes to the overall weather pattern, things stay pretty interesting in the days to come. We've already got some fog forming, especially if you get out near the airport. And when it comes to our temperatures, they're starting to drop. The fog is going to quell some of that plummet, but overall, I believe we wind up seeing more fog and cooler temperatures. It's just kind of the way it goes. What winds up happening is in a pattern like this, your temperatures are going to fall as soon as you get those clear skies. I was outside earlier staring off into space, and sure enough, there were stars abundant. Overall, we've got clouds moving in. That's eventually that atmospheric mixing we always talk about. It is a great way to get rid of some fog. But when it comes to the pattern, oof, it's just a tough one to break. Eventually, we get a little more rain moving in. We'll wind up seeing our next round of showers kind of early tomorrow morning over to our west. Eventually, that moves in. A couple of light scattered showers move through here. Doesn't really make it into North Idaho. Then widespread rain returns to the forecast come Thursday. Overall, weather pattern stays mild. 49 tomorrow, 46 Thursday, 44 on Friday, and overnight lows above freezing every day.
All right, sounds good. Jeremy will check back in with you later in the show. Spokane City Council has a new member, and today I got the chance to talk with her one-on-one. Lily Navarrete represents District 2 or South Spokane. She is the first Hispanic American woman to ever serve on City Council. When I sat down with her today, she told me that she wants to be a unifier at a time when politics at all levels are increasingly divisive.
But now that I'm here in this position, I will make sure that everyone knows that everyone belongs. So it doesn't matter if they agree with me politically or not. At the end of the day, I work for them, and I want to represent them the best that I can.
Navarrete fills the seat vacated by Betsy Wilkerson, who was elected as council president. We have that full story coming up in less than 10 minutes. Now to a story that we first brought you back in July. 119 food and retail workers at the Spokane airport will be permanently laid off in mid-April. That's according to a Washington WARN notification. The airport is in the process of selecting a new concessions vendor. One airport bartender says he's already been notified his job with the current vendor will be ending this spring.
It's maybe a little bit of hyperbole to say that the bartenders at the airport are ambassadors for our city, but we kind of are. In a lot of situations, we are the first and the last people that visitors to Spokane talk to. And I just really hope that we can all keep doing it.
The workers' union is waiting to see which operator takes over to try to negotiate rehires for the more than 100 plus workers. And as we work to bring you more to every story, there's a way to track layoff information in Washington and in Idaho. The Federal WARN Act requires companies with more than 100 or more employees to notify affected workers 60 days before they are laid off. You can then view those notices on this website, and you can see right here at the Spokane Airport, right there at the top. The website tracks the company, number of workers impacted, and the type of layoffs. Well, tonight we have a close-up look at the inspections taking place on Boeing 737 MAX planes. The inspections were ordered after a door panel blew off mid-flight earlier this month. The crews make their way through each panel, checking to make sure the hardware is in place and each bolt is tight. Loose and missing bolts are what officials say caused that door panel to fly off. The leader of Alaska Airlines engineering team told CBS those weren't the only loose bolts they have found.
More than we would like. There have been quite a few aircraft where we have found loose bolts, but what I will say, Chris, is there's been no aircraft with bolts missing.
Tonight, those inspections continue. Officials say the goal is to complete them by the end of the week. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time. But